What's going on, everybody? LK here once again with Lord JMCroft, and today we are going to talk about truly bad characters. And again, between myself and him, we have a pretty big pool of games we can pull from, so I'm looking forward to see what he shares with us.
First, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Versus series here. So I'm doing a little misdirection because I'm gonna show you a good version of the character, and then I'm gonna show you what he was like when he was bad. So the first character I wanted to talk about is actually Juggernaut. So first, I'm gonna show you a version of the character being good, so that we can contrast what it's like when he's bad. So in Marvel 2, Juggernaut's actually pretty good. The most obvious reason he's good is he has this glitch where if you power up and then you tag, he keeps the power up forever. So now everything he does is going to do a lot of damage. So that's the main reason he's good, but he has a couple other good things, like the fact that he can just do this two-piece into super. So yeah, he can just do this and confirm into super really easily. So that's nice. He can also do this, which is a two-hit confirm that goes into Juggernaut Punch, or you can like super late confirm this into super. In general, you know, he's slow and he's clunky, but he kills you in one touch, and he's really good at confirming off any hit into just killing you. So he's pretty good in Marvel 2. But so here in X-Men versus Street Fighter, Juggernaut is very, very bad. The thing about this game that you have to keep in mind is that most characters have infinites. So there's kind of like separate tier lists for if you know infinites and if you don't. But Juggernaut is low tier in both of those. Cool. So he does have an infinite. I'll see if I can do it. So yeah, he can infinite you like that, but it's corner only, and it's not really enough to make him a good character. So the main reasons why he's bad. If you guys have played the Marvel games, you might know about the Magic series. You can chain from any light normal to like any stronger normal. So you can do light punch, medium punch, heavy punch, light kick, medium kick, heavy kick, that kind of thing. But Juggernaut literally cannot use the Magic series. It is forbidden. So none of his ground normals chain into any other ground normals. So all of a sudden that hit confirm that he could do, he can't really hit confirm at all because he has no chains. He has nothing.
Wow.
He can do Magic series in the air, but he can't chain into his launcher. Ooh. So I don't really understand how you're gonna land launcher. So yeah, no Magic series is really hard, and throw is good. That's like the one good thing. His throw into super still works. But I just don't understand how you're supposed to get in and play neutral with none of your stuff combos. He's still very, very slow. He doesn't have the power-up glitch anymore, and he doesn't have assists either. That's one of the other reasons why he's good in Marvel 2. There's no assists in this game. There's just tagging.
I see.
So I think this is like his only good combo is like that. You can't hit confirm into it. You just have to let it rip. So yeah, he's pretty abysmal.
Yeah, he doesn't have any like armor on his moves or anything to make up.
Oh yeah, he does have armor. It just, to me, it just doesn't help that much because why would they ever get hit by you? Like if you're throwing out light normals, it doesn't go into anything. And if you're throwing out heavy normals, yeah, they're really damaging and they reach really far, but like why would they ever get hit?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty trash in this game, but yeah, thankfully they did give him all those buffs in Marvel 2 and made him pretty solid.
It honestly sounded like they just forgot to give him chains.
I think it's like their balancing thing for big characters. So this is kind of like, it's a common thing in versus games that big characters get like less Magic series. But yeah, Zangief is actually really good because Lariat is really good and like his jump normals are really good and stuff. And he has an infinite that works anywhere on screen. But yeah, Juggernaut is really, really bad.
I got one. I don't think it's as, I think mine is like a contextual bad, because that's like the challenge of it, you know, like depending on what era you're talking about. I definitely think for older games it's really easy to find examples of like true dumpster characters where like over time I think they just got better at making characters and stuff, right?
I think that's definitely true, that in new games there's never anyone who just like has nothing. You know what's crazy? I found out the other day that Capcom has like more games that they've made unpurchasable than like any other company.
I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, you cannot buy like any of the Marvel games. You cannot buy Street Fighter Cross Tekken. You cannot buy vanilla Street Fighter 4. You can't buy Lost Planet 2. Like half their catalog from the 360 generation is just like deleted from existence.
Yeah, like it came up in a comment, I think for like I think for one of these, like the first time we did it, they're like, why does Crofts have footage? Why does Crofts like have the game and LK is being lazy and showing footage? I'm like, bro, you can't get the game. Like, you just can't get the game.
It's not possible.
And if tell me how to get the
new version, none of this stuff is, you know, the same on like the new version.
Yeah.
That's why Ultra Street Fighter 4 is kind of goated because it has version select. Like no other game really has that.
That would be so helpful for everything ever. Boot up the Persona for you.
Oh, so this is Persona non 2.0. Is that what this is?
I mean, it is 2.0.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so it's funny that we're talking about this version thing because the character I want to talk about is not bad in this game, but she was not good when the game came out, and it's Yukiko. And I'm going to pick a character against her that, you know, in a normal fighting game, you would be like, oh, the zoner beats the grappler, you know? Like, it's just...
For sure.
That's just how this works. But in the original version of Persona, this was not the case, actually. Kanji, this is actually one of Kanji's winning matchups, is Yukiko.
I'm a Kanji main.
Yeah.
And I definitely... The thing is, I never fought this matchup. Nobody played Yukiko.
She was really uncommon. Yukiko fits in a really weird way because, like, she has, like, cheap stuff that doesn't matter. And then, yeah, like, I'll get into it. She has cheap stuff that doesn't really matter. And yes, she's mobile and she uses the game system mechanic. If you don't play this game a lot, this game has 4 buttons. You have A, B, these are your physical attacks. And then your C and D button are persona attacks. And she's really, really good at using her persona. What I mean is she has persona moves where she leaves the persona really far away. So that's the D button. This is her standing seam. So you notice how it's like just here. But if I do D into C, the persona attacks from there. So basically, it's called persona displacement. Some characters are good at using it. Some characters are not good at using it. She's actually pretty good at using it.
Narukami is like crazy with
classic.
That, right?
Yeah, classic, right? Classic one. She has a couple of problems in her original version. So one is actually one that she still has in this game. He's set to block only the first hit, so he's gonna block everything, right? So problem number one that she had is that her anti-airs are air blockable. And if I'm Kanji and I anti-air Yukiko, I'm going to hit her. So the anti-air, everyone has the same anti-air, is 2B. But 2B is like the only move that is not air blockable in this game. So when you jump, you're vulnerable for 5 frames, but after the 5 frames, you can block whatever, right? So that's my jab. That's no problem, right?
Right.
So he's able to anti-air, but she is not able to do it, which is pretty bad. Because what that means is there's no way to discourage people heavily from jumping.
And when you're a zoner,
and you're
that's like the
zoner.
thing you're concerned about is, okay, how am I going to stop them from jumping?
And it's not like you have a Street Fighter style, like Tiger Uppercut. Like, she doesn't have that. Like, her DP, it also does not anti-air. That's her DP.
Oh my god.
So it doesn't anti-air either. It's really hard to discourage people from approaching. And then not only that, this is an anime game. So when you instant block stuff in the air, you have less recovery. So basically, like, there's less block stun if you instant block in the air. I want to say it's you reduce block stun by 2 on the ground and 4 in the air. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Each ArcSys game is different with how they deal with instant block. It's definitely something that separates like your average player from like a really good player of this generation of ArcSys games in general. Your matchup against a zoner changes drastically whether or not you're able to do this in the first place. So since she has this, that's her 2B. Like, you can see, like, there's a certain amount of block stun. Like, I get forced to the ground most of the time. Like, I'm trying to jump again.
Right.
Okay? So I have to be pretty high to be able to jump again. But if I instant block, I'm able to move so fast compared to normal. Like, I'm trying to air dash. Can't really get it. Like, you're able to move so fast. So even though she's able to, like, follow up with normal, so she'll probably do, like, something like this in, like, a real match. Right? You can follow up with stuff. To protect herself, she's giving you meter, which is true pain. So let's set the meter.
Because IB gives you meter? Or
yes. So in this case, let me do it again. This case, okay, I only got like 1 meter for blocking it, but if I try to instant block it, I got almost 10. And this adds up. This adds up because you have to consider she's running around, she's doing this, she's throwing this, that, the other. Like, she's doing like a bunch of stuff to try to cover space. So this whole time she's giving Kanji meter. Kanji has more HP than her. He's a strike thrower. You know, he's a grappler. So once he's in, he's in. And as I mentioned before, when you jump, you cannot block for 5 frames. So that's like 9 frames you're vulnerable to strike. So once he gets in, it is actually really, really hard for her to get out because her DP is not that great. So this is her DP. Jump and block it on reaction, where if I try to do this with Yukiko to Kanji's Persona DP, there is no way that's happening ever. You just get paralyzed. So her DP is not good, and her jab is really slow. It's I want to say it's 10 frames, which is very, very, very slow, which makes her defense kind of rough. We're used to zoners having weak defense, but she's not that great at protecting herself in the first place because she can't hit you. So the way they compensated it for it in this game is they let her throw like 2 fans instead of 1 in a lot of spots, so that it's harder for people to like IB and then do other stuff to like force their way in. But that was the real thing that was keeping her down. She's one of those characters that are like, if you're playing the game for fun, you're like, why do all the tournament players say she's bad? I get destroyed by her all the time. But it's because of that stuff. It's just like system stuff that doesn't work in her favor.
Right. I feel like when you're playing a zoner, you're kind of signing a contract that's like, okay, like I have to hit you with 100 projectiles, and if you hit me once, you're just gonna murder me, right? But that's okay because, you know, I can control the screen and I can punish you for jumping and all this stuff. But like, if you can't even, like, if you have the read and you're like, okay, he's gonna jump, and you just don't get anything, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, and it really depends on the game too. Like, you gotta remember, this game came out in like 2012, the original Personas, so there's a mix of like old, quote-unquote, old Street Fighter is back because of Street Fighter 4, but then like BBCT came out and there was a lot of really super strong zoners that people didn't like fighting in that game. They were like, we gotta do stuff about that. And this game doesn't have like your typical barrier defense that like other Arxis games have, so they're like, how are we gonna deal with this type of thing? And a lot of fighting games from this era too were trying to nerf zoning in particular, because zoning is a pretty traditional strong strategy in fighting games in general,
and it's like an anti-fun strategy. So the noobs are gonna get mad if they get zoned.
Yeah. So it's just like a bunch of things coming together that like doesn't work out in her favor. She's definitely not the worst character in that game. That's Elizabeth, but
another zoner.
She's not really a zoner. I don't want to say Elizabeth is a zoner, but Elizabeth, I felt like they're keeping her down, and it's really easy to make her good. Where Yukiko is like, I feel like it's a bunch of unfortunate circumstances together is the reason.
Right. But is she good in Ultimax?
She's in 2.0 is probably her best version, I think.
And Yukari is really good too.
Yukari's top tier. Yukari's top tier. She is a zoner. Yukari's top tier in this version, the current version.
She is a pretty cool character, and I like zoners. So I'm glad we're potentially leaving this era where zoners have to be bad. I mean, look at Happy Chaos.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other that's a whole other discussion, I want to say.
I'm sticking with Capcom fanboyism. So you might instinctively think that the worst character in this game is probably Dan, but a lot of people say that Dan is only the second worst character, and the worst is actually Kyosuke.
Ooh, I do not know who he is. I'm assuming he's
he's from Rival Schools.
Oh,
so he is the sole Rival Schools representative in this game, and they did kind of an interesting thing with him. So I don't know if you know anything about Rival Schools.
No,
I don't really know anything about it, but so it has this mechanic that you can launch people. To make him, faithful to the Rival Schools version, they let him launch and do air combos. He's the only character in this game that really has like this whole like juggling mechanic, which is kind of cool. It was a really cool idea. And they did the same thing with like Morrigan in this game has like Darkstalker's chains, and yeah, she has air dash and stuff. So they were pretty cool to do like things to make the characters faithful to their versions, but there are a few major problems. So one is that he can't just do the chain. So like I can't, like, if the opponent jumps or whatever, it's not possible to do the chain.
I see.
It's banned. You have to. You can only unlock that chain by doing a launcher. That's literally the only way.
The only time he's allowed.
Yeah, exactly. It's a forbidden mechanic unless you get a launcher first. So it would be nice, like, if he could like jump in and do like double overhead versus like overhead and low. He would probably be a good character if he can do that, but he can't. So his only launchers, he has 2. So he has down forward heavy kick, which you might be able to see is not the best normal for hitting the opponent.
Yeah, it looks like an anti-air.
This has negative range.
It looks like an anti-air.
Damn. Yeah, yeah, you can try to anti-air with it. I don't think it's like super consistent. And you see, sometimes you like miss like that, so that's awkward. So yeah, this move is kind of trash. You can't chain into it or anything. No way to like confirm into his launcher.
Okay.
His only other launcher is super, so it requires meter. This is probably his more consistent launcher because you can actually like combo into it. There we go.
Hey.
So that's the more consistent launcher, is to use super, but he's not that good at landing super either. You can't do like short super. You can't do like short jab super. All you can really do is like jump in one button into super.
Yeah, one thing I learned from Justin, like talking to Justin Wong, is that in all these old games, like the ability to combo is one of like the most broken things. Like, if you can't do it, like it's over. Like we take it for granted. If a character has all these things and like they can't combo for some reason, it's like throw it away.
Being able to use your meter is also really huge. Like if you can confirm into super, or like you have a really broken like, you know, way to use your super, that's really good. But he doesn't really. And he has some other major problems. So like his fireball is bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that?
So that's his fireball. It's bad. And this is his DP, but not invincible. So
Whoa.
he gets pressured all day. He has no invincible moves.
Okay.
Other than roll. So you can roll cancel to get invincibility, but still, like every other character is like better at using roll cancel than he is. Some other problems, like, okay, low forward, not cancelable.
Whoa.
So, you know, good characters are like poking you and like, you know, confirming into super and stuff. No, he can't do that. Not cancelable. He has like no combos, no mix either. That's the other thing. Like, again, like if he could mix by like doing, you know, jump chains or something, that would be really good, but he has no mix really. Just strike throw. So yeah, he's trash. And some of his normals are so jank too. Like, look at this.
That's jank. Yeah.
I know, it's like, this is another, and like you might want to land close medium kick, but you're accidentally out of range, so you get this
Proxy.
like horrible. Can you do jab super, I wonder? Let me see.
Might be an esports confirm.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there we go. Okay, I managed to confirm into super, but yeah. So, Kyosuke, potentially worse than Dan, I think a lot of people would say. I don't actually know what his best groove is. I guess his best groove is K groove, because that's like the best groove for most like non-optimal characters. So yeah, like K groove, Kyosuke, he has short hop, so like that's really good. Being able to short hop is in general really good. But now this creates the problem that he can only super when he's in rage. So,
does a lot of damage though.
It does do a lot of damage. Everyone in K Groove is doing like ridiculous damage with their raged out supers. So yeah, now he like doesn't have free access to super whenever he has meter. You know, he can only do it for a limited time when he's in rage. So yeah, he's just kind of a yikes character. Yeah, Kyosuke's terrible.
Poor Kyosuke.
It is sad. To be worse than Dan is like, it's a rare thing for sure. Wait, is this Calamity Trigger?
Yes, sir.
Oh my god, the nostalgia is hitting.
It's fun to talk about BBCT. I talk about BBCT every now and then. One thing about BlazBlue is that like right now there's like CF, we should call it CF2, I guess. I don't know if they call it 1.1 or 2, but like it's like the last version of BlazBlue, the 2D fighting game that people play right now, right? So I like revisiting this game just because one, it's pretty easy to get, and two, just remembering like all the things that people used to say about BlazBlue when BlazBlue came out. And it's not their fault too. It's their first rodeo, brand new game, brand new franchise, no soul bad guy. So we will not be talking about my old main. We are instead going to be talking about this guy, Tager.
Oh no.
Yeah, and Tager is pretty interesting because actually when the game came out, he was rated very, very, very highly. Like really, really, really highly because he had really easy access to damage. So he has this mechanic where if he hits you with a D button, you're magnetized and he can like pull you in, which was really cool. Pretty easy combos. You know, pretty easy combos. Like I did 2 buttons that did a bunch of damage, right? His normal beam is like 6 hits, probably for around like 35-40%. So he does a good amount of damage, but he has a lot of problems in this game. A lot of problems. So problem number 1, I'm gonna get magnetized, right? So normally what happens is I get punched, and then the magnetism pulls you in. right?
It's like the opposite of a grappler doesn't have to get in. He can just pull you in.
One problem, not every character can take advantage of this, to be fair, but one problem is, and I actually didn't learn about this, by the way, until they fixed it. By the way, so I never knew this while he was weak against this, but I'm gonna block this, block it, and then, do you notice anything?
Why are you not getting yoinked? Why is it not pulling you in?
If you're ever in any type of like armor state, then the magnets don't work.
Oh,
yeah,
like super armor.
Yeah, any type, because this move has armor actually.
Oh,
this move, it's a guard point. So any type of guard point, super armor, anything like that. If you're magnetized, you won't move, which takes a huge part of his game away. Because yeah, one of the big points about him is he's a grappler, but like you can't run away from him.
Right.
Okay. Problem number 2. I mean, he's a big body. He looks like a big body.
Yeah.
But if you compare him to even the version after this, BlazBlue Continuum Shift, and of course like CF, he is much bigger in CT. Like he's actually too big in this game. So even though he's crouching like this, it's trivial to.
He's almost as tall as you crouching.
Yeah, it is. He's almost as tall as Lychee crouching. It's really easy to just instant overhead him with like whatever you want. This also depends on character, but it just makes it really easy to mix him up in many situations, which is another huge problem. Another major problem in this game that he has is this. Okay. So you notice how I'm like walking, blocking, just like a normal fella. So he's just blocking, doing his best. Okay. Right? Just like a normal fighting game. Blocking overheads. So what if I did...
Oh, he can be crossed up in the corner?
He's the only character this happens to. If I do this with... I can't get over hit. Look, I can't get over Lychee.
Right.
This one I can't even explain. To be honest, I think they just forgot. That was the only logic I had. Because there's no like... glitch, there's no setup, there's no nothing. You literally, he's just never ever in the corner ever.
So they fixed that after that?
They fixed that. Oh
wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, he can get mixed up like twice as effectively.
It's so rough. Like you just don't know. You just don't know. Like, you just get crossed up at any time. So I want to say like these 3 things are probably the main reasons why he doesn't hold up. He has like other things, like his chains aren't as good, but there are many characters who don't have like great chains in this game. So he's crouching, so this works, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if I have him standing, you notice
combos.
Yeah, because this doesn't have a high enough attack level for the 5 beta link. They have to be crouching. A bunch of characters have that issue in this version, so it's not unique to Tager. But those other things, along with like typical big body stuff of he doesn't have fast button smash, he doesn't have a DP, thank God. He only has like the invincible 720 to mash on. Everyone's more mobile than him, and the top tiers in this game are like ultra top tiers. They're not like normal top tiers. They're all like super broken. His stock just goes down and down and down. I think we rated him like D tier, which is really not common for me to say a character is D tier. But like I was like, yeah, he doesn't have anything, and then the game is actively working against him. Like,
well, like the best character in the game is like an ultra counter pick, right?
I mean, they all are, honestly. Like, like Carl jabs you and wins the game. Nu, you can't catch. Rachel, you can't catch. Arakune, you just roll your face on the stick and you can't catch him. So what are you supposed to do? I mean, Lychee mixes you up from half screen. Like, Lychee just does this, picks you up. Everyone cross you up in the corner, like, for free. So you have to block, like, 4 ways all the time. Like, what are you supposed to do?
This reminds me of there was another big body character that a lot of people thought was like good on launch, and then pretty quickly people realized, wait, you can just like climb the tree and instant overhead them forever, and now everyone thinks they're bad. Do you have any idea who I'm talking about?
If it's you, I would guess like Beowulf.
No,
No, Big Band.
No, Big Man's goated. Big Man's
pain.
busted. No, it's Marvel 3 Sentinel. Everybody thought Marvel 3 Sentinel was broken, but he turned out to be really bad because every character can mix him up so much more effectively.
Yeah. So that's why I picked Tager this time. But he's a big body, so he deserves it. Anyway, next.
I think it's appropriate that you have a zoner and a grappler. Those are the two archetypes that developers just want to keep down these days. They won't let them be good.
Thanks for joining this time. Definitely some interesting picks. In the end, we both picked big bodies.
We did. Yeah. I think there might be a pattern here. Yeah. What does this say about the types of characters that are rewarded in fighting games? I don't know.
It's like I baited you with a big body for the first one, but it was a zoner, and the second one I was like, all right, here's the big body. It was like it was gonna happen. Is there anywhere people can like find you? I mean, Twitch, YouTube.
I'm pretty much only on YouTube these days. YouTube.com/JMCroft. Catch me there.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right, it was fun as always. Thanks, everybody.